If you clicked on this video, then chances are Genesect is coming to raid battles, or he already is in raid battles, and you are looking to defeat this boss with the most minimum number of trainers as possible. Well, that's precisely what I'm going to be covering in today's video, so let's just get right into it. And how's it going, everyone? It's me, it's Count, here with a brand new raid guide video, and today I'm going to be telling you how you can duo Genesect. It is a very powerful boss, but it's also extremely easy to defeat. And I really think that this is one Pokemon that you should not ignore as long as it's in raid battles. Now, when it comes to Genesect, of course, the only way we could obtain this Pokemon before was through special research. So the fact that it is in raid battles right now means that you can potentially pick up that Hundo, you could potentially pick up that Shiny. This is definitely one Pokemon that is worth farming up. Alright, so let's start off with the counters. Genesect is a bug type and steel type, which means it's going to have a double weakness against fire types. Much like with Rayquaza going up against ice types, Genesect will be dealt a lot more damage if you use your most powerful fire types, which means this duo should essentially be as easy as it is with Rayquaza. Now here are a list of the best fire types that you could bring against Genesect. First and foremost, we have Reshiram with Fire Fang and Overheat. This is definitely going to be a powerhouse going up against this Pokemon, mainly because Reshiram is kind of like the fire type equivalent of Groudon and Kyogre. It's extremely powerful. It is a brand new legendary, so I'm pretty sure a lot of you have some good ones that you could use. This is one that you will definitely want to max out if you want to duo Genesect. In the most ideal scenario, you will want a full team of Reshiram that are at least level 35. This is definitely going to be your biggest hitter up against Genesect. And then of course there's Chandelure with Fire Spin and Overheat. This is one of the most powerful fire types in the game, but unfortunately it does get quite often overlooked, mainly because of how rare Litwick is, and of course because Chandelure is also a ghost type, and so many people assume that it is going to be better as a ghost type. But do not ignore its fire type moves. Because of Chandelure's stats, it's going to dish out quite a lot of damage with its fire type moves, so this is definitely one Pokemon you should consider bringing up against Genesect. Next, let's move on to probably the very best non-legendary fire type that you could get, and that is of course Darmanitan. Now Darmanitan is a very powerful fire type Pokemon, especially with its moves Fire Fang and Overheat. You're going to dish out quite a lot of damage on Genesect with just Darmanitan, so if you do not have good legendaries, then Darmanitan is one that you could bring. And if you do not have Darmanitans and legendaries, then also consider bringing Blaziken, Fire Spin, and Blast Burn, which is of course its Community Day move, is going to dish out quite a lot of damage going up against Genesect. Now I want to highlight two legendary Pokemon that you could bring up against Genesect that I really think a lot of players are going to overlook, and that is of course Moltres and Heatran. Now the reason why I want to talk about these two is because of their typing. Not only are they powerful fire types, but Moltres is also a flying type, which means it's going to resist a lot of those bug type moves that Genesect could bring. And then the same goes with Heatran. Heatran is also a dual fire type, but also a steel type, and the nice thing about steel types is that they are going to resist some of Genesect's heavy hitter moves. This means if you are having a problem dealing with Genesect's moves, then do consider bringing either of these Pokemon to deal with it. I really think these two Pokemon could be very great additions to your arsenal if you are lacking good fire types. Now of course we cannot ignore shadow bonuses when it comes to this raid boss. And of course we've had plenty of good shadow Pokemon released to us recently. If you are going to use shadow Pokemon, then I highly suggest you consider the two legendaries that you could get from Giovanni, more specifically Shadow Moltres and Shadow Entei. Make sure both of these Pokemon have fire type moves and not frustration, and you could dish out quite a lot of damage going up against Genesect. If at all possible, I would open up with Shadow Moltres or Shadow Entei and then have a full team of maxed out Reshirams behind them. But of course, because Shadow Moltres and Shadow Entei will take additional damage because of their shadow forms, you will want to watch out for that. Make sure you're dodging some of those charge moves so that you can get a couple more charge moves as well. Genesect gets weather boosted by rainy and snowy weather. Of course, that's because of his typing. And if you want a weather boost advantage going up against this boss, then definitely go in sunny weather, because that's obviously going to boost up your fire types. If you want to defeat Genesect in the most minimum amount of time as possible, then sunny weather is the time for you to go out and raid Genesect. If you are looking for a perfect IV, then 1916 is the perfect IV CP, and if it's weather boosted, you will want to look for one that's 2395. Some of the charge moves that you will want to look out for include X-Scissor and Magnet Bomb, although like I said before, depending on what Pokemon you're bringing to this raid battle, it may be easy to just resist a lot of the damage from these moves. I would say that X-Scissor is going to be pretty annoying considering that he could potentially spam it quite a lot, and of course for some of the fire types that are really squishy, yeah, if you're not dodging charge moves, then they're going to get beaten down pretty easily. And I would argue and say that Hyper Beam is your most ideal charge move to go up against, and that is of course because Hyper Beam is extremely easy to dodge. So if you plan to dodge a whole bunch of charge moves, then Hyper Beam is definitely the one you will want to go up against, considering that you're going to dodge more of those than any of the other two moves. Now in terms of Genesect's relevance to the meta, it's pretty clear that he's going to be one of the top bug types. So yeah, if you're looking for a really good bug type to bring to the Master League or to raid battles in the future, then Genesect is definitely one you will want to invest in. So I highly suggest you raid as many Genesect as possible, because there's no telling when this Pokemon is going to come back. It was originally supposed to be the EX raid for Pokemon GO's 2020 year, but unfortunately because of different circumstances that many of us are fully aware of, Genesect was not going to be appearing in EX raid battles. So the fact that it's out in regular raid battles, now is the time to farm up this boss and pick up those perfect IVs. And of course the nice thing is, of course, as of August of 2020, Genesect's shiny form can be obtained from raid battles. So yeah, you might hit it lucky and pick up a shiny Genesect. And with every single one of these dual guide videos, I have to say, make sure you're giving yourself every advantage as possible. No matter how easy the raid boss is, make sure you're taking it seriously. Make sure you are raiding with your best friends so that you get that best friendship bonus. And of course, look for those weather boosts so that your Pokemon are boosted up. And I would say for Genesect, it's going to be very similar to Rayquaza. So make sure you are at least level 35 and all of the Pokemon that you are bringing are leveled up to at least level 35. That may not necessarily be the bare minimum, but it's definitely going to allow you to duo this boss very comfortably. So yeah, there you have it everyone. This was my raid guide for Genesect. Let me know your thoughts down below. Have you defeated Genesect with just one other player? Definitely share your wins down below. Did you catch that elusive shiny? I would definitely like to know any sort of tips that I may have missed as well, so make sure you share what you have been doing with Genesect. And yeah, hope you enjoyed this video everyone. I am Count Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, and I'll catch you all later.